Hello everyone and welcome to the APAZone Swing Pub. Today we are going to be looking at our previous forecasts as well as predicting the future in the foreign exchange markets. So let's list some of the assumptions that we have coming into this. First off, we're going to assume that everybody here is familiar with the APAZone's trend follow system, as well as our technical approach. All right, if you're not, please feel free to check out the APAZone's website. We're also going to assume that everybody here is familiar with price action reading and just understanding a basic reading of support and resistance and supply and demand. What we're looking at here is the weekly and daily time frames, and we're going to look at our summary from last week as what we thought would happen, and our wonderful little market analyzer down here that gives us all kinds of wonderful trending information as well as signals for the different forex markets that we're watching here. And we're going to be using all of these tools here to forecast out the markets as for next week, okay? And then next week we'll do another summary, and you can see how it progresses over time. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, on the euro dollar, we say that it is down and looking for a new low, but rangy for now, okay? So let's go ahead and look at the weekly. And as we look at the weekly, you can see that we've been in this range for a better part of a year. Okay, just going back and forth and back and forth, and this week is pretty much doing the same thing. It looks like we're just right smack dab in the middle of the range. Okay, so as we move over to the daily charts, you can see the levels that we've been watching for. We were looking for price to come down here and touch this bottom of the weekly level. However, it looks like it found a little bit of support. So this market is very, very rangy right now. And personally speaking, I am not even interested in this market whatsoever, just because it's so rangy. You can see that looks like we found a little bit of support right here. I still think we could touch the weekly level, but it is taking so incredibly long. And we've seen no conviction to the downside whatsoever. So as of right now, I'm still looking for, I think it could come up here to this daily level before we see a retest below, okay? But I'm really looking for price to get down here at the bottom of the weekly level. How long will that take? I don't know. So far, we've been having the same prediction out for like the past 3 weeks, and it has still yet to happen, okay? So we're still very much rangy on this thing. And I'm also going to be looking at that trend line right there, okay? Also keep in mind where that trend line is, okay? So this might be an interesting point to watch as well, all right? So we're going to extend everything over here to the left. Excuse me, actually, I'm going to put everything here on the right, just so that we're on the right side of our charts, right? Okay, so we're going to be looking for something like this to have happen, all right? And then we'll go from there. But right now, just extremely rangy and not much to say other than ranging, you know? So still looking for that, and I don't think there's anything that we can really change on that one. Looking at the Aussie CAD, or the AC market, as I like to shorten it up there a little bit. On the weekly level, or excuse me, first off, we said that there's new supply has confirmed, and looking for the downtrend to, or looking for the trend to continue is what we're looking for. Okay, so let's see what that really looks like. All right. And we will go from there. So on the weekly chart, we have seen this trend line get broken here, okay, and we have a good solid close above this point. So I'm going to be looking for this supply level to form, all right, or bounce off of that supply level. So I'm actually looking for this thing, for the uptrend to continue on this one, okay. So over here on this chart, we see that the trend is up. Okay, so we're looking for the uptrend to continue. All right, now last week, I think it's important that we look at this new supply zone that was formed, but has obviously been destroyed over the past couple days here. Okay, so this was the supply zone that we were looking. That supply zone was formed. All right, we kind of got to bounce off of those two levels, but here in the last couple days, you can see that we barely just wicked above it. Okay, so I'm still looking for this uptrend to continue on. All right, so we're still going to be looking for that. I feel like this trend line that we drew off the weekly is now void. And I'm going to draw an arrow to the upside just so that it's really clear. Of course, Elite says it perfectly right there. Now, if the uptrend is going to continue and we've just beaten this level, personally speaking, I really would like to see a retest and a money bounce off of this level right there, okay, in the direction of the uptrend. Okay, so that would be really, really awesome in my book. If we could see something pretty shallow, comes down here, and then we actually hit the weekly level up above us, okay? So that's what I'm going to be looking for on that one. So I'm going to change this just a little bit, but we're still looking for the overall trend to continue, but the new supply has been destroyed now, so we're still firmly in the uptrend. Looking over at the Aussie Swiss, it looks like daily resistance is holding, okay, and we're expecting a push to the downside. All right, so moving over to the weekly, we can see where weekly resistance is. We've identified these two levels that we've been watching over the long term. All right, now on the daily time frame, this is where it gets into this analysis. So it looks like daily resistance is holding, so that means that level is holding, and we had another retest of that level that was really stinking close there. Not quite, but it looks like the institutions are going to protect that level because it came so close to that zone, and here in like another couple days, if this level sticks, then we're going to get a level that forms somewhere probably right around in there. Is what I'm guessing it's going to draw as, okay? But that means that this low will get taken out too, like this zone will get taken out as well. So we are on the upper reaches of the extreme here on the weekly. I mean, if you just look at it in the broad sense, I mean, this is more of the extremes. Like this zone does a really good job of identifying that area, and that's the way you got to look at things. Is these are areas that we want to be looking at, and we're really close to that area. You know, maybe if we use the full bodies or the full wick down here. Oh, hey, that actually looks really awesome. So let's adjust that zone just a little bit, and we'll just keep it memorized by drawing this box down to that point. All right, so this would be a bounce off of that weekly level then. All right, so if that's truly the bounce, then we're playing on the top of the range, and I really think that's what's going on here. Okay, so daily resistance is holding, and we're expecting to see a push to the downside. Okay, well, we got a retracement this week. That's what happened, and it retested it. All right, and now it's about to tell us whether or not it's going to push hard to the downside, and as soon as that level breaks, you know, this thing could rock and roll here down to the next daily level down here pretty quickly is what I'm thinking. All right, if this level breaks here, and that also means that this zone will be holding here. So in this one, I believe that we are basically playing the upper echelons. I shouldn't say upper echelons, but we're playing the bottom part of the top part of the range. Okay, let's make that a little bit more simple. I would say that we're just playing the top part of the range. Okay, that would be the overall idea there. Okay, so we will, and again, I'm expecting to see a push to the downside. So that really hasn't changed over the past week at all. it's still the range, okay? Yes, the trend is technically up, so but this is on a daily time frame, and we know that we're on the big weekly range there, so that's nothing major because we are in a range. So, and it looks like resistance is coming in here. So that's what I see going on in this market. So we'll change that just a little bit here in our forecast, but the same idea is still playing out this week that we saw last week.
All right. Hey, hello everybody. I'm William, and I'm finna talk about the Aussie yen here for a few minutes. Let's dive right in. Here we are on the weekly chart, and you can see the Aussie yen's been a nice downtrend. I want to extend this line here, Gabe, if you don't mind.
That line's been there for like
yeah, no, for a month.
like 8 months. So
yeah,
maybe longer than that. So it's been a while.
All right, yeah, here we are on the weekly chart, and you can see the Aussie yen's been a nice downtrend, making lower lows and lower highs on the way down. We just recently revisited a weekly demand. We got a retracement out of it. Seems like we formed a new daily, not daily, but weekly supply level, fresh supply level up here, and prices at the top. Well, it was at the top of it. Now it's almost in the middle of it. I think I'm just expecting this thing to continue to the downside. But here on the daily, blow this up. Here we go. Here on the daily, you can see price reacting off this brown daily level here, this brown daily supply level, and it formed another fresh aqua daily supply level here. Price is back in that fresh supply level, so we should see if the trend's going to hold and it respects this level, we should see a drop from here back down to this daily demand. So here in the near future, I don't know if it'll do it tomorrow or sometime next week, but should see it. If this level holds, we're going to see price continue to fall from here back down to this daily demand level. See if this level holds, and we find some more respect in this level, this daily supply level, and back down we go.
Yeah, and I would just say that our thoughts from last week are still playing out. Sometimes, I said before, it's not always just a week that we're forecasting. Sometimes this is like a big monthly type of thing because the levels are as big as they are. We're on such a big time frame, and we just have to wait a month, as we see the next several bars come in from one level to the next, and unfortunately that just can take a lot of time. So nothing right here is telling me that price won't respect this level, but you just got to be patient in a lot of this stuff. I mean, this bounce took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, but it's finally done it. So I think it's still what we're looking for, downtrend, looking for this level to hold, and we've had a new weekly level form right now, so that's, I think, really cool. So looking over here at the Aussie USD, we can see that we have up to the weekly level is what we're looking for, and looking for long pullbacks. Okay, so on the weekly level, that's the weekly level that we were looking for, and it's come so stinking close. Looks like we actually modified the weekly level just a little bit so that it's actually touching that one. Again, this is why we have the chart tools the way that we do. So in that level, we did modify it just ever so slightly. So it does look like it's touching that one. Then over here on the daily, we don't know if this level is going to hold for the long term or not. So I was looking for the money bounce off of this level here. All right, so and if you guys aren't familiar with the money bounce, basically we're just looking for the first retracement into this zone, and it looks like we saw that last week. So I think that's very interesting. The things that I also notice about this is over the past few days, like we had this nice little trend line drawn here on the daily time frame. And I feel like it's beaten that, but it still hasn't beaten the overall idea that we have here, but it has definitely beaten the trend line. So thinking maybe we get a nice little bounce off the trend line Looks like it's taken a whole lot more time and a whole lot deeper retracement into this level. Okay, so I also think that it's interesting to watch the whole level, because this price action from last week looked like it was going to turn around, but then yesterday came along and watch out, like the thing went a whole lot deeper into this daily level. It still seems like it's respecting the daily level, but it went a whole lot deeper. Okay, now the other thing that I want to be aware of, and like we see that this thing is going up to the weekly and looking for that long pullback, is because this weekly level is adjusted to such, we could see things come down here. Okay, so make sure that we have price action confirming the move to the upside before getting into it. That would be my big thing on this. Okay, so if it doesn't confirm right, and you can refer over to the Epizone's website as to what I mean when I say confirm. If it's not confirming, then there's no reason to get back long here. But this is a great area for a pullback, and it still looks like it's a good area for a pullback, but time is starting to make it weaker in my mind. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in the notes here, and we'll move on to our next market. Here we go.
All right, here we are on the Euro Pound. Last week Gabe said he was looking up and trending. The trend was up and trending, looking for a check mark trade to the long side. And here we are on the weekly chart. You can see the trend, strong move up. Almost got to the brown weekly supply level, and we got a reaction from it back to the downside. All of last, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Looks like we've been consolidating inside of that weekly candle here, looking for another expansion move to the upside. Let's go look at the daily. You can see why we've been consolidating, because we came back to revisit this daily supply zone down, or demand zone, and we've been kind of wedging. Looks like we've been in a wedge, and it looks like we might be able to break that wedge here in the next day or two, back to the upside. So the long check mark trade is coming to fruition as we speak, and we're seeing this level being respected. The wedge is about to be broken, and after that we should see this thing continue to the upside till we get back up to this aqua supply level. I'm expecting the price is going to beat that level sometime in the near future and continue up.
Okay, looking at the Aussie, or the pound Aussie, you can see here we were looking at the downside last week. Okay, so looking for the check mark trade off the daily and to continue to the downside here. All right, so on the weekly, I'm not going to blow it up at all, but we can see that the weekly level, we still have space to the weekly demand down below us. On the daily chart, here's the check mark trade that we're looking for. I still feel like it's in play. Nothing that's happened so far here has taken it out of play, and the only thing that I can really say about this is that the summer doldrums may be making things take a little bit longer, but I still think the general price action is still in control and still trumps the summer doldrums. It just may take a little bit longer at this time of year. Okay, so that's what I feel like I'm seeing on a lot of these markets, is just the summer doldrums.
AUDCAD, and you ready?
Yep, go.
All right, here we are on the pound CAD, and we're looking for, Gabe said we're looking for, last week he noted that we're looking for a bounce off weekly demand and give us a money bounce trade to the downside. Okay, and as you can see here on the weekly, it's like that's coming into play here. Bounce off weekly demand and give us a money bounce trade to the downside. Okay, let's blow this weekly chart up. You see we came back down to visit this weekly supply zone, this fresh weekly supply zone from a long time ago. I just want to see how long ago this thing formed. Yeah, 2013, so about 3 years ago. And we're back, came back down, revisited. We found some respect in this level, and then we're coming back up to the upside in a check mark trade manner, like Gabe was alluding to. It's a matter of where it's going to stop at and turn and fall back down again. I see he has a little drawing illustrated here, the lows of these prior lows over here. Don't know if we're going to get all the way there, but I'd like to see it get there. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, pretty much the same ideas in play. See why we're taking so long to get up there, because we're in the daily supply zone here. It's been hit quite a bit, you know, just a bunch of consolidation going on right now. No real expansion moves up or down. But as you can see here, I think we drew these drawings out a few weeks ago, and they're still in play. I mean, that's what we're still looking for, the same thing.
So looking at the pound yen, as we can see here on the readout from last week, our forecast was for the short term. We're looking for the counter trend to the upside after a strong bullish rally off the weekly demand. Okay, so on this weekly level, we've seen some really good bullish movement, and still looking for that bullish movement to continue. The summer doldrums may have something else to say about that. So looking over here at this daily time frame, let's not forget to move this zone to where we have established it from before. So as we look at the price action, again, it's just a lot of summer doldrum action right now, and I'm really feeling that. So they're coming up and down, looking for price to kind of do something like this. Okay, continue on to the upside. Now we did have a level here. Okay, if we look at the dead zones, you can see this little level, and sure enough, this thing took out the zone, and we thought, well, as of last week, I thought that it might do this, to be honest with you. So we might even get it a little bit lower, and then we could buy it on the way to the upside. Now, this is a counter trend idea, okay? And I'd be looking for up there to that this brown zone, which we moved around here, okay, as a target. All right. So just realize that this is slightly adjusted, but it's pretty close to what I'm looking to see have happen here. Now, again, because it's so range bound right now, I really don't feel all that great about taking this to the long side yet. Okay, it just hasn't confirmed anything. We're in this range area that we've been in for a while. You can see this consolidation over here to the left a little bit, and we still seem to be in that general area. So I don't really like this area so much right now. But maybe here this week we can see a continuation of this counter trend idea come to fruition, but only time will tell.
Okay, all right, slide that time. All right, here we are in the pound New Zealand. Gabe said last week, trend is still now. Trend is still new. Is that what that is? Now or new?
It's still down.
Down?
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be down.
Okay. All right, trend is still down. No supply zone to take it down. Possible money bounce off daily demand zone counter trend. Okay. Here we go on the weekly chart, and let's see what we can see. Here we are. See the downtrend. Big expansion move down. We got our little bounce to the upside. Was there a zone here or not? You don't know?
I think it crushed through it just by a little bit.
Okay, yeah. We just went through it, and we found respect on the other side of it, and we got our little retracement to the upside. I'd say respected that zone. I don't see it really. It didn't beat it by much, man. Maybe a couple ticks, man. That's crazy.
Oh, I know. Not much at all.
So yeah, I'd say this zone, we found some respect off of this zone. the software eliminated it, but I would, still consider find respect at that zone. We got our counter trend to the upside, and looks like we've been inside. This week's been an inside week inside the prior week's price action. So more consolidation. Here we're on the daily, and you can see I like this consolidation over here. Found some sellers in this area here where this consolidation was. I think that was an old zone as well. Yes, it was.
But it broke it.
The software, yeah, it broke it, eliminated it, but then we formed a new one. So I see that zone. I see this zone still being in play, man. I don't really. It didn't break it by much. It didn't wick out of it too much. Plus, you could have drew this zone from this top of this wick over here. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, we found a little bit of respect off this zone, even though we formed a new demand zone here and got a little drop. But you can see Gabe got the stair step action going on, and looks like he's expecting this to come back down in this zone somewhere and get another push to the upside.
Well, that's a counter trend scenario that I drew out there for some reason, just to demonstrate that. But the trend follow is obviously still to the downside. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? Since we're in the doldrums, man, we might not get much expansion. So we could, shimmy back and forth between these two zones for a while. Could it possibly happen? Especially if this doesn't get taken out. We can expect this thing to keep bouncing back and forth in here for a while, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, just more consolidation going on right now. No real. I mean, you could have took the short earlier. Got us a nice bearish engulf here a couple days ago, 3-4 days ago. And if you'd have took that, you've been in the money right now. It's just a matter of, I don't know, I just want to see it expand, a nice expansion move, but I don't think we're going to get any for the next couple months. I just don't know, man. But the trend is down. Obviously, it's down. We want to see this. We want to see this thing expand to the downside and break both of these lows and continue down. But will that happen in the near future? I'm guessing probably not. I think it's going to happen eventually, but just these summer months are terrible, man. I think the doldrums last until like, October into September, October, so we could be seeing a lot of consolidation for a while. I don't know. All right, here we are on the New Zealand dollar. Let's look at the notes. Gabe wrote last week looking for long to continue, but looking for a bigger pullback. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Here we are. You can see the uptrend in play. We got our nice down move after the nice expansion move. Got a nice down move after the expansion exhausted, and found ourselves flip-flopping off these highs. I think there's a zone in here, a daily zone in here somewhere too. Flip-flopping off of these highs over here, and that turned into a zone here, continuation zone here, and we came back to revisit this area. So, and you can see price moving up from here off of these lows, flip-flopping off of these highs. Let's take a look at the daily. You can see the daily levels playing out here. Just formed a new daily demand here, but if you look at these old zones, you can see what happened. I like this area. I like this area to see. I gotta draw that out because I see it and I just can't help myself. Here we go. To me, that's another level. The software didn't pick it up, but to me, that is a level. And you can see how price came down to the top of it, wicked in it, found respect. Boom, we got another expansion move from it. Instead, the software formed another level, fresh aqua level. You know, we can justify that as well, but we can see why price stopped here. You know, we got you know, that's a level right there. That's a daily demand zone, and we came back down to visit again. Almost formed like a double bottom at the top of it. A few wicks off, almost a double bottom formation. Boom, we got our expansion. So basically, I can see this thing continuing back up to the upside since the uptrend is intact. We made a higher high. Really haven't made a lower low yet. I mean, you can consider that a lower low, but look where it stopped at. It's demand zone here that I drew out. The software didn't pick it up, but I saw it. Pretty sure Gabe saw it too. And instead, the software drew this level. But you know, either way you look at it, it's respecting the first level and it's respecting this level that I manually drew in. So we're getting a reaction from this general area here and continue to the upside, I believe, until we get back to this yellow daily supply zone here, and we'll see what happens next. But I think we're going to be going up for a ride here, back up to this area. So I don't know about this check mark panning out, Gabe. I don't know. I feel it's going to keep continuing to the upside.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like it does look like that level is being respected there. So the trend is still to the upside. So we're just waiting patiently, kind of like what this says, looking for long to continue. You know. So, but I was looking for a little bit bigger of a pullback. So you just got to wait and see how deep this pullback is going to be. Does look like it's bouncing off the level you identified there very nicely though, so that is absolutely awesome. And I think I'm just going to delete off that area and see how this thing goes, you know. Maybe a money bounce off the aqua level. So
yeah, we might see that.
But that's the only thing that I could see to really get long off of. So new demand. So we'll see how that continues to play out here. Moving over to the dollar CAD, you can see that we're waiting. We're waiting in a wedge, okay, and that there is an up bias that we've been looking at for the past several weeks. So we've been looking to the long side this entire time, and now I feel like we've really confirmed it to the long side. If you remember from last week, we were seeing this thing come to fruition. We had removed the downside of the possible wedge movement just because things were looking very bullish, and this week it continues on. Okay, so that is actually a really cool thing that I must have drawn last week on there. That's a very interesting level there. And basically what that level comes from is just the flip-flop of these previous highs becoming support, okay? So it comes down there, it makes, and now we're looking for it to make a new high and for it to completely take out this brown zone. We want to see this brown zone completely taken out. It's formed a lot of consolidation here. We look for it to be completely taken out, and I'm really looking for some type of level, like just like this little green level that I have drawn off of. Like I'm looking for that level to be respected. Okay, so this is a very interesting daily candle that we have being formed here as we've broken the highs, broken outside the wedge, and you know, looking to be a buyer right over here. So this is actually coming to fruition here, which is very cool that we see this happening over the past 3 weeks, and it's doing its thing. So very, very cool stuff there. Looking over at the dollar yen, trend is still to the downside as of last week's prediction, looking for bounce off the daily zone. Okay. Now, we also drew in the new daily zone on this one, if you guys remember. all right, and that's the level that we identified on the daily chart. So let's see what that looks like here. And you can see from what we have drawn, that level seems to be holding, and we have a bounce on demand right here. Now, this is kind of an interesting decision point here. Personally speaking, I would like to see this thing continue to the downside, all right? But technically speaking, either scenario could work out here, all right? So the counter trend would be to the upside, but trend follow is definitely to the downside. All right, now we are going into the summer doldrums, and we've been in the summer doldrums on a lot of markets. This market doesn't seem to have seen as much summer doldrum stuff go on here, but it is a very interesting area that we've bounced off that daily level, previous lows, becoming new resistance, and I would like to see the trend continue. So I'm going to say this is going to be the way that it's going to go, just because I'm a trend trader. I want to do everything with the trend and let the trend be my friend. Okay, so I'm looking for it to be to the downside, but I realize that it's a summer doldrum, so this thing could just wedge around here for a while too. You know, it could range now for a while. So I just want to be mindful of both scenarios, but trend followed to the downside, counter trend to the upside, or I guess you could say counter trend would be ranging in between these two areas. All right, so that's what I'm looking at on that one. And yeah, it looks like we've gotten a nice bounce off the daily level that we drew into place, and we will continue to see if the trend can continue here or not. So with that being said, thank you everybody for joining us here today, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.